The China Report for Tuesday, June 18, 2013. China banking bubble. China's big banks are pressuring the central bank to free up funds to ease an unusual cash squeeze in the world's #2 economy, according to people familiar with the matter, illustrating a stark choice facing Beijing as it grapples with weaknesses in its financial system: add money to its system to help its lenders, or stay the course to rein in a rapid expansion of credit. The Chinese interbank funding market has seen rates soar since early this month amid slowing foreign capital inflows and banks' needs to fulfill investor obligations, among other factors. This squeeze is pushing up banks' funding costs and can impede a key source of funds for growth even as the economy slows. In a further sign of tighter conditions, Agricultural Development Bank of China, a state-controlled policy bank, on Monday reduced by a third the size of its planned 26 billion yuan $4.2 billion bond offering. The Ministry of Finance, in a rare failure Friday, was unable to sell all of the debt it offered at an auction. The tight liquidity situation is leading to some calls from Chinese banks for the People's Bank of China to inject more cash into the market by lowering the share of deposits banks are required to set aside against financial trouble. The measure is known as the Reserve Requirement Ratio, or RRR. Internally, we're hoping for an RRR cut by the end of Wednesday, said a senior executive at one of China's top 4 state-owned banks. China's credit bubble is unlike anything in modern history. China's shadow banking system is out of control and under mounting stress as borrowers struggle to roll over short-term debts, Fitch Ratings has warned. The agency said the scale of credit was so extreme that the country would find it very hard to grow its way out of the excesses as in past episodes, implying tougher times ahead. The credit-driven growth model is clearly falling apart. This could feed into a massive overcapacity problem, and potentially into a Japanese-style deflation, said Charlene Chu, the agency's senior director in Beijing. There is no transparency in the shadow banking system, and systemic risk is rising. We have no idea who the borrowers are, who the lenders are, and what the quality of assets is, and this undermines signaling, she told the Daily Telegraph. While the non-performing loan rate of the banks may look benign at just 1%, this has become irrelevant as trusts, wealth management funds, offshore vehicles and other forms of irregular lending make up over half of all new credit. It means nothing if you can offload any bad assets you want. A lot of the banking exposure to property is not booked as property. NSA leaker denies giving secrets to China. Edward J. Snowden, the former National Security Agency contractor who has confessed to disclosing troves of highly classified documents detailing American surveillance at home and abroad, said Monday that he had not given any classified materials to the government of China. This is a predictable smear that I anticipated before going public, Mr. Snowden, who is believed to be in hiding in Hong Kong, said in an online question-and-answer session on the website of The Guardian, the British newspaper that has published most of the secret information to date. He said that such speculation was intended to distract from the issue of U.S. government misconduct. Ask yourself, if I were a Chinese spy, why wouldn't I have flown directly into Beijing? I could be living in a palace petting a phoenix by now, he said. President Obama, meanwhile, defended the legality of the NSA programs disclosed by Mr. Snowden, as well as their importance in preventing terrorism, in his most extensive comments to date on the programs. The one thing people should understand about all these programs, though, is they have disrupted plots, not just here in the United States but overseas as well, Mr. Obama said on the Charlie Rose Show on PBS in an interview. Whatever these so-called plots are is anyone's guess. At this point it is difficult to trust anything being said from the White House. That's the China Report for today. Zaijian.